Hello and welcome to another episode of Divina's Recipes for Life. In this episode, we are making my favorite ever Indian dish. So if you ask me what the best Indian dish is in my opinion, and if you wanted me to show you Indian cuisine at its best, this would be the dish that I would make for you. It's Chole Bhature and everyone loves it. Whoever just comes to India, they just love it. Famous as a street food in Delhi and Punjab, this is chickpea curry made with dried spices rather than like onion, garlic and stuff like that. And it's served alongside a big balloon-shaped deep-fried flatbread. This particular style of chickpea curry with the dried spices is different from Amritsari chole. It's called Pindi chole and it uses dried spices for flavor rather than onion and wet spices like garlic or chili or whatever to add bulk. So first we're going to prepare our bhatura dough here. So I'm going to take about a cup or 250 grams of all-purpose flour into a bowl. To that I'll add some salt to taste and 1 teaspoon of sugar. In a small bowl, we're going to mix together 3/4 of a tablespoon of fine semolina or suji rava basically, and 1 tablespoon of plain yogurt or dahi. Use sour yogurt for best results basically because we need this to ferment. Now we're going to let this mixture just stand for around 5 minutes so it'll just absorb the liquid from the yogurt. Now we're going to add back in our semolina mixture and we're going to slowly knead that into our flour. Add another 2 tablespoons of yogurt too. Just add about a tablespoon of oil also. 1/4 teaspoon baking powder and a pinch of baking soda. Last but not least, let's gradually add water and mix that to form a nice shaggy dough, not too sticky, but just soft enough to be able to handle. We're going to knead that to a nice smooth soft dough or otherwise whack it as shown here in the video. You're going to just take the dough and kind of whack it down on a hard surface until you get a nice smooth soft dough. Then you're going to apply a little bit of oil on top and cover it with a damp cloth, and you're going to leave it for about 1 to 2 hours. The longer you leave it, the better. This is a high hydration dough. So while that happens, you can prepare your chole, but I'm going to show you meanwhile how to make the bhaturas once you're done with them. So what you're going to do is roll the bhatura into a nice flattened disc like I'm doing here. So first you'll roll it into a little ball and then flatten it up and then make it like a tortilla as I've shown you over here. So you're going to roll it evenly on all sides, and once you're done, you're going to put it into some hot oil and deep fry this until it's nice and fluffy from all sides. Just gently press your bhatura from all sides and then keep on topping it with that hot oil. We're going to prepare our chole now, and for that you'll need a muslin cloth, and in that you're going to take the following spices: 1 black cardamom or badi elaichi, 1 cinnamon stick dalchini, 2 to 3 bay leaves, sage patta, and 8 to 10 black peppercorns or sabut kali mirch. Now I'm going to make my tea. So I'm just going to take about a tablespoon of black tea, no green tea here guys, black tea, and then 1 cup of boiling water, that's 250 ml, and then let it stand for a while until it's nice and dark. Next, you're going to start with your chole. I've taken around 1 cup or 250 grams of garbanzo beans, which is Kabuli chana or white chickpeas. I've washed that and soaked it overnight, and now I'm going to add it to my pressure cooker. Once you're done with that, you're going to add in your bouquet garni, that muslin cloth that we prepared. We call this a potli in Hindi. We're now going to add back in our brewed tea. Let's add in a pinch of baking soda. And along with that, we'll be adding in about a 1/2 teaspoon of chopped ginger and some salt to taste. And now we're going to add a little bit more water just to help it to boil. And then we're going to cover it up and let it cook until it's nice and soft. It takes about 3 or 4 whistles or until it's just nice and soft. Now this should take around 20 to 30 minutes. And now we're going to prepare our chole masala, and this is supposed to be that special spice mix. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Otherwise you can just buy your own from the store. So what I'm going to do is take about 1 star anise or chakrapool, 8 to 10 black peppercorns, sabut kali mirch, 1 small cinnamon stick, dalchini, 4 to 5 cloves, 2 to 3 green cardamoms, choti elaichi, 2 black cardamoms, badi elaichi, a very tiny bit of 4 to 5 pieces of fenugreek seeds, methi dana, 1 tablespoon coriander seeds, sabut dhania, 1 to 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, jeera. I'm going to roast this until it's nice and fragrant so that it becomes easier to grind. And I'm going to put it into a mortar and pestle and just grind that as fine as possible. This is what it should look like. Next, we're going to add in about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon dried mango powder or amchur, 1/4 teaspoon black salt, kala namak, and then we're going to mix everything well. If you want, as I said, you can use store-bought chana masala or chole masala as they call it. And I'm going to just add that into my cooked garbanzo beans and mix that nicely. I'm going to now add in 1 teaspoon of pomegranate seeds or anar dana into a pan. And I'm going to roast that until nice and fragrant. And then once that happens, I'll add that in once it's crushed. Let's mix and assemble our chole. I'm going to add in about 1 tablespoon of Indian clarified butter, that's desi ghee, and I'm going to wait for that to melt and get hot. I'm going to add in my cooked chole to that, and then I'm going to add the water from boiling the chole, but only as required. I'm going to mix this all up, and now I'm going to add in about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of ground coriander or dhania, and you can adjust the spices as you like at this point. Next, I'm going to add in some salt to taste, and then I'm going to mix it again and just keep it on a low flame to cook and let those spices infuse. And while that's happening, I will quickly make my tempering. So to make that tempering, I'm going to heat 1 to 2 tablespoons of Indian clarified butter again. Desi ghee, you can use oil if you like. And then I will also be adding in some ginger juliennes, around 1 tablespoon, and green chili juliennes, also 1 tablespoon. Add in 1/2 teaspoon of carom seeds or ajwain. Once that crackles, I'm going to pour the tempering over the chole. And once that's ready, I'm going to plate it up nicely as shown in the photograph over here. And that is your chole bhature. Make it exactly the way I have made it and you're going to love it.